Hey y'all, and welcome to the Southland Piper. I'm your host Tim. Hope you're doing well today. I recently purchased some pipes from an estate, and this little pipe right here was part of that estate. It is a Parker, so it's a Dunhill second, and so it presents a couple of little challenges, and I thought it might be interesting to do a video on this pipe. So let's turn around to the workbench and get started. Let's take a closer look at this Parker. First, I'd like to mention that, Parker is a second line of Dunhill. And these are two Dunhills that I'm going to be refinishing later. Now, these are both the same year, 1964. But the other one, that's that's those right quick. I'll just let you look at them a little bit. But they represent their own issues. So I wanted a pipe that was close to the same condition as those because I want to try my hand at restoring the rim. Now this one you can actually see the rim a little bit. I mean down here. I'm not sure what's underneath the carbon, but actually doesn't look too bad. This one, this is the O. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's the OX Dunhill shell. Um, the rim on it has more issues. Let me get a little bit better light on that. You can see it's pretty smooth in places. And what I hope to do is, you have to excuse the AC just kicked on. What I hope to do is kind of restore that rusticated rim. And that's why I was saying I was kind of hoping this one was a little worse off. But anyway, it is what it is. This one also has a real nasty loose, just about will drop totally out stem on it. But I guess this Parker is going to become my practice pipe. The stem is good and snug. Now this one is, there's the light. This one is totally blocked. The stem, yeah, you can see a little tobacco hanging out. It's blocked as well. What else on this one? The bit been chewed on a little bit. I think that might actually be a hole, but as we start to work on it, we'll figure that out. So that stem is a little rough. I do not make stems to restem pipes. I try to use all original stems and just restore them to my best ability. The Parker, boy, let me get something to point with. Well, that's not good to point with, but anyway, the Parker logo right there. You can barely see it. I guess if I get the light right. The nomenclature is pretty gone on this one. It's a 73F. Mostly on the outside, just dirty. Now, I do find this a little interesting. I'm gonna have to, once I ream out the bowl, this looks kind of suspicious. Goes all the way back up here. Right there. It almost looks like this whole side let loose. So, and it may not be the case, but I got a funny feeling that it might be. So, once I get it reamed out, we'll know a little bit more. All right. I'll be real surprised if that's not a break in the pipe. So right here's the one part. I'm just not seeing anything. And so right here, I think that's just part of the grain. But boy, it looks like a repair to me from the outside. I'm still fairly new at working on pipes, just about 2.5 years now. So I certainly haven't come close to seeing everything. Okay, last time I'm going to look at it and worry about it if I don't see anything. So there's the break as it comes across the top. Well, I call it the grain, I guess, at this point. And here's this one coming up on the side here. I just don't see anything. I will, when I turn the camera off, I'm going to get real up close and personal with it with a magnifier and look again, but I'm not really seeing anything. So unless I come back and say something different, we'll just carry on like it's totally fine because I'm kind of thinking it is. I'm going to take some Murphy's and start cleaning on this one. Uh, the outside just needs a good scrubbing. I said I'm going to avoid as much as I can on the nomenclature. I had noticed a couple of spots that looked a little shiny on this pipe. Now I've scrubbed it down with Murphy's. The rim, we're still going to have to do some more work on it, but I'm not sure what the shiny stuff is. Had a little over here. It's not affected by alcohol. The Murphy's didn't do anything to it. Right back off. And, there it is. The only thing that I've found so far is if I apply a lot of heat with the heat gun and this stuff, I guess I kind of cook it a little bit and it gets crispy. And then I can chip it off with a dental tool. But let's see if I can demonstrate that right quick. Be nice to have the stem, but the stem is in the cleaner. Okay. Now you can see it crackled up and maybe bubbled a little bit. So I'm cooking it, and then it'll just start to chip off. But this is going to take a while because one of the problems that I have, it's coming up, but is that if you just kind of look, a lot of places it's just down in the grain, down in there. So don't know what it is. Seeing there's some little pockets down in the grain because I got a feeling that stuff won't take stain or probably won't like to wax up and I don't know what all. But so I cook it a little bit. I don't remember if it becomes more vulnerable to the alcohol or not. Yeah, it scrubbed a little bit off, so I've got to cook it up a little bit. And so I'm just going to have to, right through there, you can see how shiny it is. Okay, so this is what I'm doing to try to deal with this. I don't have any big patches, a lot of big patches left. Got this one right here, but you can see a lot of it down in the valley of the grain, the grain of the wood. But it's kind of, even right here where I first started, there's a little spot right there. You can see all the little shiny spots. So, here's some. What I have found, and I'll show it on this, what I'm doing is I'm hitting it with the heat gun, and it will actually start to bubble and crisp up. And a lot of times I can then just take some alcohol on the paper towel. A lot of it will wipe off. And if all else fails, then I hit it with a brass brush. But so this is, let's see if y'all can see the process here. Okay, I don't know how well y'all be able to see that it kind of crisp. You might see little bubbles right there. And like I said, then a lot of times I can just take it and wipe it from the surface pretty good. But then I might have to go back, with the brass brush and try to clean it out. But I looked up shellac. It's not shellac. Shellac's real vulnerable to, I want to hit that again, to heat, or excuse me, to the alcohol. And unless I heat it first, and it is removing some of the dye, but unless I heat it first, alcohol won't touch it. But yeah, it's all down through here, that big crack looking thing, fissure or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we'll spend a lot of time on getting this one cleaned up. Don't know what it is, but it's been a pain in the rear. All right. Um, the rim definitely has a little charring in a couple spots. Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to see, but it's charred right there. So I'm gonna remove as much as I can. May do some more scrubbing with some Murphy's oil soap, but I'll start by seeing what I can get picked out. Uh, it is a sandblast. I don't want to go smooth with it, so let me clean it up further, and we'll see what we got. Well, I've been poking and prodding at this. I've reproduced rustication on pipes a couple of times, but I've never attempted to replicate a sandblast. I do not have the correct tool to do that. So we're going to give this a shot for whatever it is I'm about to do. We're going to learn today. Maybe a good lesson, maybe a bad lesson. We don't know. Biggest part of the damage here is we've got some charring. I didn't go ahead and clean it up further because I thought, why try to clean all this off when I'm going to take a tool, a rotary tool, and remove a lot of this. The top of the bowl is pretty flat, so this isn't one of these undulating things that you see with a lot of rustications. My biggest thing is, this is an older estate pipe, so I don't want this to end up being really crisp and such. But I'm gonna have to try to look at what I've got going into the rim, and like I said, try to approximate something. There's that part that goes off down here and then comes up, so those will definitely be prominent. May not do a whole lot with that. So I'm going to take my trusty little manicurist drill, and I've started with this little cone shape, and I may switch to several different things. I don't, I may try to work on this area a little bit. We'll see. This may totally suck when it's done, but we're going to find out. And I've got some other bits down here. I'll probably use that one at some point as well. I don't know. I'm almost tempted to start with that one. I guess it'd be better to start smaller than larger. Let's start with that. I'll get started on it. I'm not sure how much of this to record because, like I said, it's kind of difficult trying to record this and pay close attention to the workpiece. So let's give it a shot. You can see how this chart area all of a sudden just kind of powdered up. I don't know. I may have to kind of lower the whole thing, blow that off. Um, I'd hate to bring down the whole top of the rim, but this is terribly soft right in here. Right now, I'm not even paying attention to what I want the finished product to look like. I'm just removing really bad material, just extremely soft. It seems like I'm just about there. Very, very soft stuff. I'm barely touching this. It's just coming right off. It's a little bit of a divot right there. Um, okay, well, here's some. Like I said, I don't want it to be too crisp. I want it to look like a sandblast, but I don't want it to be too crisp. I'm just going to clean out some of these little areas. Can you tell I don't know what I'm doing? I sure can. I guess you got to start somewhere, don't you? Yes, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. I realize that. Like I said, I'm trying to do the very least that I can. Trying to reference the grain. See some little lines here, but I may have to go a little something a little bit more wider. Hmm. Anybody yelling at the screen yet, saying don't or stop or don't do that? I'm sure they're out there. Well, that area's still kind of soft. I'm going to give it a little brush. Hee hee hee. All right. This is a 3M little flexible uh, sanding disc. They're each individual little discs. I want to say this is 150 grit. I don't recall offhand. Let me see here. They're Scotch Brite. Well, it's 3M Scotch Brite. Let me back that up a little bit. That's what these are. Little bag. They'll give you a arbor with those. These are, I guess, 120 grit. I guess. I've got it turned down quite a bit. All right, what I'm looking to do, I'm gonna clean this area down a little bit. Um, yeah, that's what we're doing. Don't really like those two marks I made there, but anyway. I'll be able to go back and do something on them. I don't know. We'll see. Hope y'all can see because I can't. Yeah, I don't like the way those spots look right there, but anyway. You kind of hope with these little flexible fingers that it's not going to replicate sandblasting, but you do get a little contouring and such. So I might have to fall back on my old an estate pipe is an estate pipe. Sometimes you're just not going to. You refinish them, you don't restore them. This one's going to be a refinish and not a restore because there's just no way I can do that. Well, I wish I had made those two cuts right there. I can. I think those now look okay after I get a little dye in on it. I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna stain it, see what it looks like. May go back and take some more off. The only thing you can do at this point. Uh, wipe it down real well with some alcohol and contemplate what kind of stain. Probably go with my British tan, the one that went so red on me on that BP June. Yeah, boy, that's gonna. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to hit some stain on that, but because I've got some that ended up real light, and then I've still got some of the darker. So that's that charred spot that I'd have to just keep going down is what would have to happen, and I'm not real thrilled about that aspect to keep going further down. I don't think I got. I mean, there's more I can remove, but we're going to continue to dip down and kind of see it there. This is when you wish it was a smooth rim, and then you just top it and go on. Well, my gut tells me to. This is still too light. My gut reaction to it, that's still too light. The impatience in me says go buff it. So the go buff it one. Let's go throw a little carnauba wax on it and see what it looks like. Now on rusticated and sandblast pipes, a lot of times after I lay on a coat of wax, of course you're going to have some build up in the crevices and such. So I will take my heat gun and melt those down. Okay, now I'll let that cool for a couple of minutes, and then I will uh, go to my just straight buffing wheel that has no carnauba wax. I can already tell I missed a spot there, but I'll just start repeating that procedure back and forth until we're happy with the way the pipe looks. This is the end of part one working on the Stummel. I think it turned out really well. The next video will deal with the pipe stem and see the final results. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Talk to you soon. Bye.